That was Sam Bessel at the piano. Thank you, Sam. Welcome to our annual recognition of our best and our bravest. To our veterans, present and past, thank you for your service. And to our prospective service personnel, there is little nobler than to serve our armed forces. This morning, we also welcome back Lieutenant Colonel Joshua Lamancusa. He's the District Attorney of Lawrence County and a 1991 Neshannock graduate. I recently had a unique experience. I participated in the United States Navy's educator orientation visit in San Diego. To say the visit was impressive would be an injustice. What happens behind the curtain to defend our great nation in war and in peace is nothing short of amazing. Our nation's material assets, human resources, and intelligence are incomparable. Today, as we honor our heroes, please take time to consider all we have because of their sacrifice, honor, and valor. They have given our nation a legacy. If you have served, please stand to be recognized. The United States of America is the greatest nation in the world because of your sacrifice. Thank you once again for putting service above self. At this time, I will welcome to the podium the host of the Assembly, National Honor Society President, Tierney Hilton.
Please stand as the Neshannock Honor Guard members Victoria Conrad, Isabella Hassan, Hannah Quat, Rachel Kroner, Nicholas Sidkevich, and Jacob Walzer present the colors. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Christian Golub, Jake Pape, Cross Rogers, and Lorenzo Scarnati, and then the national anthem sung by the Neshannock a cappella group.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Next, I welcome to the stage Junior Class President and National Honor Society Junior Representative Alexandra Quat with the history of Veterans Day.
On the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month of 1918, an armistice between Germany and the Allied nations came into effect. On November 11th, 1919, Armistice Day was commemorated for the first time. President Wilson proclaimed the day should be filled with solemn pride in the heroism of those who died in the country's service and with gratitude for the victory. There were parades, public meetings, and a brief suspension of business activities at 11 a.m. In 1926, the United States Congress officially recognized the end of World War I and declared that the anniversary of the armistice should be commemorated with prayer and thanksgiving. The Congress also requested that the President should issue a proclamation calling upon the officials to display the flag of the United States on all government buildings on November 11th and inviting the people of the United States to observe the day in schools and churches or other suitable places with appropriate ceremonies of friendly relations with all other peoples. An act was approved on May 13th, 1938, which was made November 11th in each year a legal holiday known as Armistice Day. This day was originally intended to honor veterans of World War I. A few years later, World War II required the largest mobilization of servicemen in the history of the United States, and then American forces fought in Korea. In 1954, the veteran service organizations urged Congress to change the word armistice to veterans. Congress approved this change, and on June 1st, 1954, November 11th became a day to honor all American veterans wherever and whenever they had served. In 1975, President Gerald R. Ford signed Public Law 9497, which stated that Veterans Day would be observed on November 11th of each year.
Student Government President Isabella Hassan will now introduce our guest speaker, Joshua Lemancusa.
This morning, we welcome back 1991 graduate Joshua Lemancusa, a Navy veteran, to deliver a Veterans Day message. On January 4th, 2010, Joshua Lemancusa was sworn in as the duly elected District Attorney of Lawrence County, Pennsylvania. District Attorney Lemancusa leads an office of professional prosecutors and detectives dedicated to the pursuit of justice and the protection of the people of Lawrence County in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. He is the Chief Law Enforcement Officer in Lawrence County. Joshua graduated from Denison University in Granville, Ohio, with a Bachelor's of Arts degree. He furthered his education at The Ohio State University to pursue a master's degree in finance. Subsequently, D.A. Lemancusa applied for admission to and was accepted to the Case Western Reserve University School of Law in Cleveland, Ohio. Joshua earned his Juris Doctorate from Case Western Reserve University. In 1999, Joshua was accepted into the United States Navy Judge Advocate General Corps and was commissioned the rank of ensign. He attended Officer Indoctrination School and Naval Justice School in Newport, Rhode Island. Ensign Lemancusa was promoted to the rank of Lieutenant Junior grade and was stationed at the Trial Service Office East at Naval Station Norfolk, Virginia. Lieutenant Junior grade Lemancusa was promoted through the chain of command and was designated a trial counsel team leader. He excelled in this leadership position, and shortly thereafter, Lieutenant Junior grade Lemancusa was promoted to the rank of lieutenant and was named Assistant Chief Trial Counsel. He was then assigned the role of defense counsel and was placed in charge of the command's claim department. Lieutenant Lemancusa managed the Naples, Italy office and 4 branch offices located in England, Spain, Sicily, and Bahrain. While on active duty, Lieutenant Lemancusa received numerous awards and commendations, including 2 Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medals, 2 Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medals, the National Defense Medal, Overseas Service Ribbon, and various weapon medals. In 2005, then Lieutenant Commander Lemancusa resigned his active duty commission and returned to Lawrence County to begin private practice. Today, we welcome Lieutenant Commander back to Neshannock High School. We thank you for your service.
I really have to shorten the bio. That was. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls who are present, and everyone who is being live streamed right now. I really enjoy speaking at Neshannock. It's where I graduated. I grew up a stone's throw from this building. It's my home. And if this was any other day, I would probably give you a few jokes, maybe tell a scandalous story about one of the teachers here, or some of my former teachers. But today's not that day. Today is something different. Today we are here to honor our fellow brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers, sons and daughters, all of whom have answered the call to serve our country in the United States military. We are here today to honor those American heroes, to remember their achievements, their courage, and their dedication. We are here to say thank you. Now, I know when most people hear the word hero, they think of athletes, musicians, celebrities, Elon Musk, but being famous or having a lot of money, that doesn't make you a hero. A true hero is the person that has chosen to live their life in service to others without expecting anything in return, to humbly sacrifice in silence and to dedicate themselves to protect those who cannot protect themselves. We are here today to honor our 21 million veterans still living in the United States. Now, as we sit in this auditorium, we had the opportunity to see some of the heroes. And again, I would ask you, if you are presently on active duty in the reserve component or have served in the military, could you please stand again? Thank you, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, they answered the call of their nation, of their country, and we are appreciative for their service. See, when you hear the first gunshot, you don't really believe it. You don't really think that's what you heard. But when the second and third come in, well, that's when things become very clear to you what's really important in life. For me, it was always the man next to me. It was my brother. Those were the ones that I loved. It was the people back home that I wanted to see. And it was always this country. Despite our many problems, disagreements, and feuds, I still love the United States of America. And I don't expect you to understand that feeling, not the love of the country, but the bad situation, the chance that you may not get to go home. And in fact, I hope you're never in that position. But I want you to understand that the men and women who have earned the right, the honor of being called a veteran, they didn't want to leave their homes. They weren't looking for a fight. Some didn't even volunteer. They were part of something that was much bigger than themselves. They were ordinary people, just like you and I, who responded in extraordinary ways. These are our true heroes. Yesterday, people throughout our country gathered together to remember, to honor, and to pay gratitude to those who have served. And this gathering here today is just one small spark in the flame of pride that burns across the United States of America. But I feel I'd be remiss if I did not mention with sadness and a degree of embarrassment that I feel sometimes watching the news of violence, of riots, of political infighting in our country. Perhaps now more than ever, we should look to our veterans for guidance. When they wore the uniform, they didn't do so in service to the Republican Party or the Democratic Party. They didn't do it for any party. They answered the call to service of the United States of America, one country under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for attending this celebration today, and God bless you and your families, and God bless the United States of America.
Mr. Passarelli will now give a veteran recognition.
Thank you, Mr. Lamancusa, for your message. The red poppy has become a nationally recognized symbol of sacrifice worn by Americans since World War I to honor those who served and died at war for the United States of America. It serves as a reminder of the sacrifices made by our veterans while protecting our freedoms. At this time, we would like to recognize our military veterans and active duty servicemen and women in the audience and at home. Let's give them a warm welcome once again and a gesture of our gratitude as we present each with a thank you note and red poppy pin. The pins were made by the Neshannock Peer Leadership students under the direction of their advisor, Mr. Miskey. This morning, we honor the memory of Master Sergeant Lori DeLillo. Master Sergeant DeLillo served our country for 32 years in the United States Air Force before retiring to civilian life. Lori was the wife of Jason and mother of Dante, Alina, Aviana, Luciano, and Rocco, as well as aunt to Joel DeLillo and Santino Subra. For a decade, Lori assisted us in planning our annual Veterans Day recognition ceremonies. She was at the ready to answer any military-related questions and to provide us with the resources to properly commemorate our veterans. Lori was very generous with her time and talents. She was supremely proud to have served our country and enthusiastically promoted service in our armed forces. Master Sergeant DeLillo's legacy of service will live on in our building for years to come through her children and her memory. If you are a member of Lori's family, please stand to be recognized. Her daughter, Aviana, is in the audience right now. Thank you.
National Honor Society Public Relations Officer Elena DeCarbo will now read the history of TAPS.
The 24-note melancholy bugle call known as taps is thought to be a revision of a French bugle signal called tattoo that notified soldiers to cease the evening's festivities and return to their quarters. It signaled lights out for soldiers to go to sleep and was sounded an hour before the final bugle call to end the day. The revision that gave us present-day taps was made during America's Civil War. The Union General Daniel Adams Butterfield, who decided the lights-out music was too formal to signal the day's end. One day in July 1862, he made a new version of the song. This new music was made the official Army bugle call after the war, but was not given the name taps until 1874. Army infantry regulations in 1891 required taps to be played at military funeral ceremonies to accompany the lowering of the flag and to signal the light out command at the end of the fallen service person's life.
Caitlin Kurtz, the National Honor Society Vice President, will now lead us in a moment of silence.
The signing of the World War I armistice took place in a railway coach near the battle zone in France. The bugle sounded cease firing and the hostilities ended, marking a most significant memory in world history. While Veterans Day is primarily a tribute to America's living veterans, it is always appropriate to include a moment of respect for those who gave their lives for their country. Although 11 a.m. remains a traditional hour for this type of tribute, in honor and memory of all fallen heroes, a moment of silence will be recognized now, and then will follow with taps played by Lorenzo Scarnati.
Remain standing as the honor guard retires the colors. National Honor Society Secretary Nelia Nogate will now read the closing remarks.
The Neshannock High School Veterans Day Committee would like to thank all of those whose participation contributed to the success of this program. A special thanks to our Student National Honor Society, peer leadership, and the student government leaders who put this appreciation assembly together. District Attorney Lamacusa, we thank you for your service, and we thank you for giving your time today to speak to our students and staff. We are extremely grateful to our staff, fellow students, and the entire Neshannock community for their support. Most of all, we are thankful to the many men and women of our armed forces who serve daily and protect our great country. This includes the local recruiters who volunteer their time in our school and community and serve our country, the active duty military men and women who are here today, along with the veterans who have been our guests. We are eternally indebted to those veterans and their families who have paid the supreme sacrifice so that we may live in a free nation. Let us each continue to work diligently toward a peaceful world. Honored guests, you are invited to join us in the hall for family photos.
Carter Brooks will now come out and play our musical postlude.
Thank you, everybody. We'll assemble out in the lobby if you'd like pictures or just to mingle. And thank you again for your service, and God bless.